Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another coffee rant with Dano and Frank, our Patriot Bald Eagle. If you have to pause on this video to get your coffee together, have coffee with us this morning. It's going to be a bit of a lengthy discussion, something that I believe is going to happen as we have seen a massive recall on sliced meats, deli meats through Boar's Head, and multiple vegetables that are on recall, all due to a possible Listeria contamination that may lead to more of an outbreak than it already has. Now, as you've seen in the title of this video, expect food shortages and empty shelves, and this is why. Because of this, I don't know, guys. I think it's coming. I think this is, we're already seeing the process. It's affecting Kroger, Aldi, Walmart, and several other stores that we really don't know the names to, which is, it's a little confusing as we go along here. But wanted to put this warning out here to all of our viewers that if you're shopping at either Kroger, Aldi, or Walmart, then I would possibly expect a lot of produce to be missing. We may even see deli cases empty. We may see deli cases empty because it is kind of as we expected with the deli meats. They're having to do a rigorous cleaning process with the Listeria, that the possible Listeria, as they say, in some of the Boar's Head meats, primarily liverwurst, but I guess the way that it has been done, cross-contamination, things like that, it's been affected other meats, at least from what they say. There's a lot of meats on recall through Boar's Head, and there's many items that are on recall through Weir's Farms, who Kroger, Aldi, and Walmart all do business through. So, it's something that we're probably going to see a lot of. I have seen a couple stores around here doing cleaning and stuff like that. So, not really sure how that's going to look for the next week. But I think because of that, we can expect some shortages on maybe some of your favorite deli meats this week, possibly next week. Maybe, who knows how long, right? I mean, and a lot of vegetables. I know the vegetables have covered 5 or 6 states, but it seems like that is growing as well. We know that the deli sliced meat situation is growing as well, too, as that is a nationwide recall. But guys, we just got to pay attention. We got to make sure that, we go into the stores. Honestly, you may want to wait to buy your produce of these products anyway until this is all blown over. Hopefully it doesn't get much bigger than it already is. If you guys happen to watch my little news break last night, we went into how the deli meats have now spread into Indiana because they go over 13 states, right? That they have found it, okay? Have found the Listeria, okay, or infections. And, they're trying to trace all that back from where it's come and stuff like that. That's why we didn't have any information on this for like a week. Because I guess people were getting sick from it, but it was an investigation that takes a little while to figure out where is it coming from. Most who have said that they had gotten the liverwurst. That's why the liverwurst, pretty much all of it is on recall. And I would say pretty much most of the popular Boar's Head meats are on recall as well. But like I said, there are several stores in New York that are doing a rigorous cleaning process. I know there's one store up northeast. It's called Shop Stop or something like that. Let us know down in the comments if you shop at Shop Stop. But apparently that was one that was majorly affected. So they're cleaning out all that stuff. That's going to take time. It's going to take time. And one thing, I've sat and thought about this for a few minutes, and I was like, there's some things we should probably talk about. So here we are. The less that we see in the stores, the people are going to go on. I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't even know about this going on right now. So make sure you tell your friends, family, anybody that is going to be going to the store here soon. Even if not, post it on your social media. Let all your friends and family know, because this is a serious situation. It is growing like crazy, and we're finding this Listeria in many different things. Many different things. Now they've expanded the Weir's Farm products that were used in like packaged things as well. So we got to watch out for those too. It's like the double-edged sword here. It's just coming from all angles, all firing on all cylinders. Somebody asked me the other day, if, I saw light at the end of the tunnel. And somebody had said this before. I was like, yeah, a train is coming at the end of that tunnel. Guys, I just don't know anymore. So many different recalls. We have covered so many recalls over the last few days. It has been insane. People have been asking me about the coffee recall as well. Yes, there are 300 different canned products that are made by Snap Chill. Now, I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of these coffees I've never even heard of before. So, I don't know if they're more. Now, apparently they're distributed nationwide. Okay, so I don't really know. But it's an ongoing recall. They've removed all products, but they say they're putting this out here in case people have it in their homes. I know it mostly affects 7 to 12 ounce cans, like metal cans. And they say for the possibility of botulism, but that has grown as well. And so many of these things keep growing. That's how we knew that this Listeria thing was only going to get worse, because that's what happens. It's like the investigation has led to a few states, which led to 12 states, and now the 13th state, if you didn't see our video last night, Indiana, has been added to the list. And it's funny, like, I don't believe Ohio or, kind of states in the middle. It's like when you look at the map, it's like you have these states over here, then you have the states on the East Coast. Well, you better believe everything in the middle of that's affected as well. There just hasn't been any reports of hospitalizations, right? Now, as far as I know, as we've talked about, there's been 2 people who lost their lives to this. One in Illinois, which, if you think about it, is directly west of Indiana. So I knew right away. I was like, well, Indiana's got to be affected. So now we're finding out that Indiana is. And then, you go as far west or as far east as like New York, and it seems like it's affecting a lot of states up there. This originally was found, I believe it was Maryland. There was somebody who had gotten really sick. I believe it was Maryland. I'm not going to look anything up today. I've got a headache and just trying to get through this, but I do believe it was Maryland. Let me know down in the comments if I'm wrong, but I think it all started from there, and then that is where they started the testing. Now, this testing was done, I guess, almost 2 weeks ago now. So the fact that it came out, and everybody knows how fast this thing can spread and what you can do to prevent it. Well, it is a process to prevent or to get rid of these things. First of all, you have to get rid of said product, and then the cleaning process is insane. Like, if you follow all the little rules and everything, unless you're boiling it to 165 degrees. I like how they keep adding different terminology, like, well, if it's steaming, you're probably okay, right? If it's steaming, then it's probably over 165 degrees. So if you nuke something, not saying to put it in your microwave or anything. Like, I'm just saying, like, that's kind of the terminology. I feel like they're coming up with easier terminology in case people don't have like internal thermometers and don't want to deal with that. They're saying, well, if it's smoking, then you should be fine. I don't know. I don't know these days. But, just wanted to throw this out here, guys. I think we are going to see some empty shelves here. We've already been seeing some big gaping holes in a lot of products. Lately, as you guys know, I've been trying to point out different products that it looks like Kroger may be in short supply here. Maybe here in the future. Been seeing a lot of those. Sorry for the inconvenience stickers on things. Somebody asked what those are. It can mean a lot of things. It could mean that they weren't able to get their order, or they know that something's not coming up. It could also mean that they have put it on there just until they're able to get it replaced. Maybe with their back order or something. Some people say employee shortage, stuff like that. That could be for some Krogers, but I don't see that around here. There are plenty of employees working at all the Kroger around here that I visit. So I don't know if that's a possibility. It could be. But it could be trucking issues. Kroger has their own delivery trucks and stuff like that. So they could be, they may know that things might be on a serious back order. Things start disappearing. They kind of like to let you know, or for themselves or for the customer. I kind of like that Kroger does that, because I've been noticing them put that on products that they have on the shelf, right? We saw the Idaho and dehydrated potatoes. We saw some different canned goods that had stickers on them that weren't there, right? They weren't there. We saw that the product was full even the week and the week before that, and then all of a sudden we're seeing these inconvenience stickers. Remember the distilled white vinegar? If you've been watching the channel for a while, you know what I'm talking about. Like, I remember back in the fall, during like canning season and stuff like that, we were finding plenty of distilled white vinegar, but Kroger had those inconvenience stickers everywhere. Well, what happened a week later? They were gone, right? So it was like, I kind of look at it as like a little warning label, like, hey, we may not get it in for a while. Take that for what you will, but go ahead and buy one if you need it. I know some people have said, oh, no, that's a marketing ploy. Not with that. I don't see that. Kroger doesn't have any trouble selling anything, really. Not that I've ever seen. But yeah, I would expect even places outside. I think this is going to grow a lot bigger than what we even see, guys. I think it's going to get bigger than Kroger. I think it's going to be spread out to multiple stores. We see where Boar's Head, like I said, Boar's Head has affected the entire nation. It is recalled from the entire nation. So chances are, if you go to the store, you're probably not seeing any Boar's Head, and you might see some other of your favorite deli sliced meats go away too for a little while as they clean this up, because I think what's going to happen is now that it's out there, now that they know where it's coming from, well, now you got to start testing other things, right? I think this is kind of what kind of led to the vegetable recall, right? Because it all started with cucumbers about a month ago at Walmart. I noticed there was no cucumbers at Walmart, and I was like, what the heck is going on here? And sure enough, there was a massive recall on cucumbers. And then like 2 weeks later, we hear of a couple more things. And then it's like then it all comes out. Weir's Farm has possible contamination of Listeria with all their products. Kroger, Aldi, and Walmart for a few states has been affected. But that's another one I would expect is going to be spreading out. So check the FDA website. Check what products are on there. There's plenty of different articles on USA Today, Newsweek, Food Safety News. These are the ones I read from a lot. But if you just want to go straight to the facts, the FDA, all these news sites, they pull this information off the FDA's website anyway, or the USDA, which is kind of in FDA's website, and then you can look at FSIS. Any information. You could look at the CDC, but I don't know. I don't know. If you're looking for just the facts, I guess it doesn't really matter too much anyway. It's if the stuff's out there and people are, companies are sending it back anyway. Well, it's like, I just look at the facts. Is all of it 100% correct? Well, up until the point to where it spreads out further. Right, because that's what we always see. We see these things, with the whole, if you guys remember, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but if you guys remember, the salmonella thing was going around everywhere. It was on everything. Not everything, but there were a lot of recalls last fall. Last fall into winter, there were recalls on things that shouldn't have even been recalls on salmonella. We shouldn't have had an issue. There were people saying that this was on purpose. This was that. I don't really know. Let me know your thoughts down, let me know your thoughts on that. But, some of the stuff seemed very fishy, right? Like the whole Quaker thing, which now they came out months later and said it was a facility that was not very clean, right? But it's one facility. You're talking billions of granola bars. Is that the only one you have that does the granola? I don't know, maybe, but we're still not seeing those granola bars come back, or some of the different granola cereals, are we? Some of the different granola bars that were from a different factory are coming back. But I don't know. Get the Kroger granola bars. They're better anyway. And I will say this with Kroger. They have a pretty good lab where they test all of their products constantly. It's a huge lab down there. And, and at least it's the one I know of. I know they all have them, but I know that Kroger they're on top of it. I trust Kroger and their products. Wouldn't say I trust Kroger to full extent on everything, right? But I do as far as their products go. They've never really led me wrong. And even products that have had their name on it, I know those like salmon fillets or something months back. Not months back, but I don't think they're on recall anymore. But that was from somewhere else that they just have their name on it. But still, that was very quick. Very quick. And those little salmon fillet things, I remember they came down very fast, like within one day. Most of this stuff does. Like they took, once they knew that it was boar's head, that stuff came out of the shelves, and then it's like, okay, let's devise the plan here on what we're going to do and how we're going to clean these products. I guess we just kind of have to have faith that they're going to clean it out right and everything's going to be done right. The thing that I worry a little bit more about are the vegetables. Because you have boar's head, you have deli meats and stuff that are in a case. It's contained at least in that general area. You have employees are the only ones that are touching the meat before it comes to you. And I know it still sounds bad, right? It still does. But with vegetables, I can see it spreading a lot further, which it has. But we're not hearing of other things, right? Like people that go and they grab, a bunch of vegetables and then they just toss them in with the potatoes or toss them in the tomatoes or different apples or whatever, like, oh, I don't want this. And just, it's like, well, now I'm no scientist, okay? I'm no doctor, but I mean, if Listeria can pass like that fast and quickly, then you really have to question all the produce in the store. And I hate to be the one to say that. I don't want to sound over silly about it, but I mean, we got to dot all our I's and cross our T's here. We don't want it to keep spreading. If all of these vegetables are contaminated, well then can't that spread to the other ones as well? I don't know. I was kind of surprised, when I went to Meijer and I was like, I mean, I didn't see any boar's head, but I didn't, all these vegetables. Now, maybe they didn't get them from Weir's Farm, but I think because of all this going on right now, I think everything needs to be tested. And maybe they were. Maybe they've tested a lot of their stuff. I mean, one thing you can say about Meijer and Publix and some other places, some other grocery stores that are traditionally a lot more money, is they're buying, like top of the line. That's why their produce is expensive, because they are. Now, I'm not saying that even top of the line can have something wrong with it. But, I'm sure that if something had happened or something was wrong with it, both Publix and Meijer would remove their products to get rid of it. But I don't see that happening at like Kroger or Aldi. Like I went to Aldi the other day, and there's still a lot of produce out there. Now, this has affected Aldi, right? Now, Aldi came out and they said they have three things that are affected with them was the 16-ounce packs of green beans, okay? And then there were some cucumbers that were affected, and then something else. I want to say jalapeno peppers, I think. It was three different things, but I'm sure it's more than that. But these are things that we may never actually know, and if they know, they've probably taken them down, probably cleaned them, but I don't know. These stores need to come out and be open about it. Like, hey, we did this, we did this, we did this. We're done with Weir's Farms until they figure out what's going on, right? I mean, there's a lot of people you can buy from. There's a lot of farms you can buy from. This is what I'm saying, though, is that while these things start disappearing, people are going to be shopping other products. Okay, so we may not just see some empty shelves in the produce or the deli cabinet, because those may not be available in New York. You should probably pay attention to this, because from what I understand, this has hit New York some of the worst as far as the deli meat. It seems like there was a lot of cases all at once of Listeria on this. I'm not, just wanting to make you aware, but, I would definitely take that into consideration when you're going shopping. That, if you see a lot of these, if you're in the produce aisle, okay, and you see a lot missing, right, because of this, maybe it'd be a good idea to stay out of the produce aisle until all of this clears up and we don't hear of any more cases. I'm going to continue to keep you guys updated on this, because I think it's a lot more serious than what a lot of other people are saying or what the news is saying. I mean, they put it out there and then they don't talk about it anymore. It's like there's more confusion after you watch the news than before. Oh, okay, sure, 200,000 pounds of boar's head recall. Okay, what do we do? They didn't even name the states. Now, that was one news station I was watching, but I mean, it's like, you didn't really give any information. You didn't give any lot numbers. You didn't say what meats they were. And this was after they had already given out the information of where it came from. I was a little disappointed in that. I try to stay away from the the idiot box when it comes to news, because it's all like, you know how it is. It's in your face for a second, and then it goes to commercial, and then you've came back, right? You went and got your snack, or you're just sitting there waiting for the commercial to end, and it's like, then they go into the weather, right? Because that's all most people really want to see is the weather, and it's like, oh, okay, well, I'll stick around for a minute, and then you'll just show a flash of what happened with the boar's head. The news only talks about it if it is absolute chaos or if it's catastrophic, right? I mean, that's the only time we ever really see it from the news. And at that, are we really getting the right information? I don't know whether we're getting the right information now or not, but I'm just putting it out here as a Dano health update warning, whatever you want to call it, because for one, I like I said, I think it's bigger than what a lot of people are letting on. I think it's going to keep spreading. I think it's going to keep growing here for a while, just like we saw salmonella last year. And it's going to continue to get on things, and they're going to continue to find stuff. So I would just be careful, be cautious, make sure you're paying attention to some of these sites. Again, I said we'll continue to keep you updated on this. But, you know, if I think that's the big thing, again, with a lot of people shopping, maybe not knowing about this, or, you know, they start seeing, you know, a lot of produce missing, you know, a lot of produce, and then the deli cabinets closed down for a while, they're going to be going off and buying a lot of other things that maybe Kroger, Aldi, or Walmart aren't necessarily prepared for, right? Because in this day and age, I think a lot more people are catching on to, hey, I got to buy these sales and live by the sales, right? Like we always talk about on the channel here, buy up the sales as you see them, right? Well, a lot of people, I believe, are starting to feel and think that way because their wallets have to answer to the means of what they can afford, right? And it's like, if you have to get creative in your grocery shopping to try and make your dollar go more or save more in some directions, you know, it's like, okay, well, a lot of people already know how to do that. So I feel like in today's day and age, if I was to go to Kroger, maybe not me, but somebody that doesn't, you know, maybe pay attention as much as some people, and not saying that's a good or a bad thing, you know, I don't know. But, you know, and then it's like, oh, okay, these vegetables are gone. And then you already know, like, well, go to the sales of these things. So it's going to make it harder for a little while, I think, for everybody to kind of, you know, you may find some of your favorite items missing because of this situation. So where we find shortages in one area, we might find in other areas as well. Is it going to create complete havoc? I don't think so, but I don't know, guys. You know what it's been like the last few years. It's been absolutely ridiculous. I don't like to say no. I'm always trying to. I have a little bit of optimistic, you know, feel in my life left, but I don't know, guys. It is something I do feel is going to keep getting bigger. I think we will see some food shortages because of this, and possibly some empty shelves. So make sure you're prepared. Make sure. It's hard for me to even say, make sure you're stocking up on things anymore, because, you know, you say that and then there's a huge recall on all this stuff. So just be careful. Make sure you check different online sources. You know, I do when I get up. I check my notifications. I check every little thing possible so that, one, I can keep me and Jess and my family informed, and you guys as well. Guys, I hope this video helped. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.